In a quaint little town where the willows weep, 4 friends set forth their secrets to keep. Jake, the leader with courage bold, Lila, whose heart was purest gold, Sarah, wise with books and lore, and Ben, the joker, whom all adored. One chilly night, as the moon hung low, a silvery orb with an eerie glow, the friends gathered at Jake's behest to explore a place that none had guessed. "Let's visit the graveyard," Jake proposed, "where ancient stones in darkness posed. There's talk of ghosts and shadows deep, of demons that in silence creep." Lila shivered, but stood her ground. Curiosity in her heart was found. Sarah, too, with knowledge vast, agreed to delve into the past. Ben laughed loud, his spirit light. "What's life without a bit of fright?" And so they trekked with spirits high into the night beneath the sky. The graveyard gates, with iron rust, opened wide with a groan and gust. A path of cobblestones, cold and cracked, led them to the haunted tract. Mossy tombstones, weathered and old, whispered secrets never told. The air grew thick with dread and gloom as shadows danced in every tomb. Jake led on, his steps assured. "There's nothing here, just tales absurd." Yet in the distance eyes did gleam, piercing through the moon's pale beam. Lila gasped, her heart did race, for she had seen a fleeting face, a ghostly figure, pale and thin, with hollow eyes, a dreadful grin. "Did you see that?" she exclaimed in fear, but Jake pressed on. "There's nothing here." Ben chuckled. "Just your mind's tricks. This place is full of ghostly flicks." Sarah frowned, her eyes astute, for she had read the ancient root. "Legends say this ground is cursed, that demons here in shadows burst." Jake brushed off her warning clear. "Just stories, Sarah, nothing near." But as they walked, the ground did shake. A tremor from the depths did wake. From the earth with sulphur scent, a demon rose with dark intent, its eyes like coals, its claws like steel, a nightmare from the deepest creel. Jake stood firm, his fists held tight, ready to engage the fight. But Lila screamed, her voice a wail, as claws through flesh began to flail. The demon's grip, a vice of death, tore through Lila, stole her breath. Her soul was ripped with a mournful cry into the night where shadows lie. Ben, in shock, his laughter gone, stared in horror at the dawn. Another demon, dark as pitch, grabbed him fast without a hitch. With fangs that glistened in the night, it bit down hard, extinguishing light. Ben's spirit fled with a silent scream into the void, a shattered dream. Sarah, wise with books and lore, knew at once they'd walked hell's door. She tried to chant a saving spell to banish demons back to hell. But from behind, a clawed hand struck, cutting short her final luck. Dragged into the earth's dark maw, Sarah's soul was lost in raw. Jake fought hard, his fists did fly, but demons swarmed he couldn't deny. With a final, fatal blow, he joined his friends in deadly woe. In that graveyard, magic swirled, binding them to a shadowed world. Stone statues now, they stood in place, horror etched on every face. Their souls, though trapped in stony cold, still screamed at night, their story told. Their voices mingled with the breeze, haunting all who dared to tease. Each night the graveyard came alive with whispers, moans, and desperate cries. The statue's eyes would sometimes blink, reminders of the deadly brink. Bound by curses, sealed by fate, their screams were warnings, though too late. For any who might dare to tread would join the stone, forever dead. So, if you hear a distant wail, or see the moonlit faces pale, remember those who ventured in and met the demons, paid for sin. In that quaint little town where the willows weep, 4 friends' fate floats on the breeze. Jake and Lila, Sarah, Ben, worn from stone, don't come again. In a town shrouded by tales of dread, where the moon shone dim on the graves of the dead, there was a place where no man dared to tread, a cursed graveyard where the spirits were fed. Legends whispered of eerie light that danced on tombstones deep in the night. Some said they were souls trapped in plight. Others spoke of their malevolent might. But love is bold, and so are the young, in this town where dark stories are sung. A man and a woman in passion so strong decided to venture where no one belonged. "Let's go," she said, her eyes full of fire, "to see the spook lights, my heart's true desire." With a smile that hid no hint of fear, he nodded and whispered, "I'll always be near." Through twisted paths and ancient trees, they walked hand in hand, hearts full of ease, until they reached the graveyard gate, where the hour was late, and sealed was their fate. The air was thick, the silence tense, as they crossed the threshold of eerie suspense. Graves lay scattered, cold and still beneath the moon, on the crest of the hill. They wandered deeper under the sky, where stars seemed to watch with a ghostly eye. Then she gasped, her voice faint and light, "There, look there, it's the spook light." A flicker, a glow hovering near, it seemed so gentle, nothing to fear. They watched as it danced, a curious thing, like a firefly's spark on a soft summer's wing. "It's beautiful," she whispered in awe, as the light drew closer, revealing no flaw. But as it neared, its warmth grew hot, a burning sensation, a sinister blot. Her smile faded, replaced by pain. As the light turned fierce, no longer tame, it wrapped around her, a fiery embrace, and terror spread across her face. "Help me," she screamed, but it was too late. The spook light revealed its true dark fate. Her skin crackled, her flesh turned black as the fire consumed, no turning back. He stood frozen, paralyzed by fear, watching her burn, his heart seared. In a moment she was no more, just ashes and cinders on the graveyard floor. The light faded, its hunger sated, leaving him alone, devastated. He fled from the place, his mind unhinged, haunted by the sight, his soul singed. Back in town, with trembling lips, he told the tale of the graveyard's grips. But no one believed his frantic cries. They called him a madman, full of lies. Authorities came with questions in hand, but his story was more than they could understand. No body was found, no trace of the girl, just a mind unraveling in a twisted whirl. Locked away in a cell so cold, his story remained forever untold. They called him insane, out of his mind, for the truth he knew they never would find. In the asylum's darkened halls he whispers still when nightfall calls, of spook lights and a graveyard's doom, and the love that turned to a fiery tomb. But no one listens, no one hears, his voice drowned out by endless fears. For in that graveyard, under the moon's light, the spook lights wait, hidden from sight. And in the shadows they still gleam, the horrors real, though they seem a dream. So beware the lights that softly glow, for their gentle warmth hides a deadly show.